Tanvitam tam sajivam Sadvaitam savadhutam Parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Randraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. We're going to read some shlokas from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, third canto, 23rd chapter, titled as Lamentation by Devahūti, text number 35. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Muttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Nashtaki. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. So Kardama Muni has created a wonderful palace for his wife Devahūti with his yogic power. At the same time, Kardama Muni created thousands of maid servants for service of Devahūti. All those maid servants, they gave bath to Devahūti and applied various medicines. So Devahūti, whose body was very emaciated or thinned because of her service to her husband, she could revive her bodily strength, and she was very clean and looking beautiful than before because of the yogic power of her husband. And then now further, Kardama Muni and Devahūti, they travel all over the universe in their aerial mansion. That description is mentioned in this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here in the shloka, Maitreya Rishi is explaining to Vidurji, Bhartur purastad atmanam stri sahasra vratam tada nishamya tadho gatatim samshayam pratya padhyata. Devahūti was amazed to find herself surrounded by thousands of maids in the presence of her husband to witness his yogic power. So Devahūti saw that she was surrounded by thousands of maid servants. Srila Prabhupada is explaining. And all those maid servants were brought to her by the yogic power of her husband Kardama Muni. And this explains that for a yogi like Kardama Muni, nothing is impossible. Because of this yogic power and service by the maid servants, Devahūti became much beautiful and shining, and that description is here in this shloka. The sage could see that Devahūti had washed herself clean and was shining forth as though no longer his former wife. So she was very looking beautiful because she was the daughter of great king Maharaj Swayambhu Manu. She had regained her original beauty as the daughter of a prince. Dressed in excellent robe, she was waited upon by thousands of Gandharva girls or destroy her enemies. Fondness for her grew and he placed her on the aerial mansion. So here we can see that Kardama Muni saw Devahūti regaining her beauty, and they now are on an aerial mansion which was created by Kardama Muni with his yogic power. Further, it is mentioned in the next shloka, though seemingly attached to his beloved consort, while served by Gandharva girls, the sage did not lose his glory, which was mastery over his self. So here, Kardama Muni he still remained stable. He did not got disturbed by the external beauty of Devahūti. In the aerial mansion, Kardama Muni with his consort shone as charmingly as the moon in the midst of stars in the sky, which causes rows of lilies to open up in the ponds at night. So here you can see that Kardama Muni is traveling now in the aerial mansion with his wife Devahūti, purport by Srila Prabhupada. The mansion was in the sky, and therefore comparison with the full moon and star is very beautifully composed in this verse. Kardama Muni looked like a moon, and the girls who surrounding his wife Devahūti seemed just like stars. On a full moon night, the stars and the moon together form a beautiful constellation. Similarly, in that aerial mansion in the sky, Kardama Muni with his beautiful wife and damsels surrounding them appeared like the moon and stars on a full moon night. So here we can see that Kardama Muni is traveling with his wife Devahūti in an aerial mansion. That was a desire of his wife. And the reason being that his wife had served Kardama Muni very faithfully, and it was a time for Kardama Muni to fulfill her wish. So both of them, now they are traveling in an aerial mansion, and Devahūti is surrounded by thousands of maidservants, and all this beautiful picture is compared with the moon and the stars in the sky, where moon is Kardama Muni and Devahūti, and the surrounding stars are the thousands of maidservants. Further in the shloka it mentioned, Tena staloka vihara kalachandira Droni swanga sakha maruta saubhagasu Siddhe nuto dhyudhani patashiva swanasu Reme chiram dhanvadalalana varuthi. In that aerial mansion, he traveled to the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by the cool, gentle, fragrant breeze that simulated passion. In these valleys, the treasure of the gods, Kuvera, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by Siddhas, generally enjoy the pleasures. Kardama Muni, also surrounded by beautiful damsel and his wife, went there and enjoyed for many, many years. So here now is the mention of different Devi Devatas, where Kardama Muni and his wife, they traveled beyond this material world into the higher lokas, and beyond this earthly planet into the higher lokas, which are also part of material world, but there the facility of enjoyment is much higher. In purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, Kuvera is one of the 8 demigods who are in charge of different directions of the universe. It is said that Indra is in charge of eastern side of universe, whereas the heavenly planets or paradise is situated. Similarly, Agni is in charge of the southern eastern portion of the universe. Yama, the demigods who punishes sinners, is in charge of southern portion. Nirutti is in charge of southwestern portion of the universe. Varuna, the demigods in charge of water, is in charge of western portion of the universe. Vayu, who controls the air and who has wings to travel in the air, is in charge of northwestern part of the universe. And Kuvera, the treasurer of demigods, is in charge of northern part of the universe. All these demigods take pleasure in the valley of Mount Meru, which is situated somewhere between sun and the earth. So here is the mention of a place called as Mount Meru. All the demigods, They take pleasure in the area of Mount Meru, and then the location of this is between earth and sun. In the aerial mention, Kardama Muni traveled through the 8 directions controlled by the different demigods described above. And as the demigods go to the Mount Meru, he also went there to enjoy life. When one is surrounded by beautiful girls, Kardama Muni was enjoying with his wife for many, many years in the Mount Meru. But he was very much controlled because his intention was to produce good progeny for the good of universal affair. So Kardama Muni never got indulged into the sensual pleasures. He was still self-controlled, and he tried to be spiritual minded and try to satisfy the desires of his wife. The next shloka, Vaishrambake Shurasamne Nandane Pushpa Bhadrake Manase Chaitra Ratye Cha Reme Ramaya Rataha. Satisfied by his wife, he enjoyed in that aerial mansion not only the Mount Meru, but in different gardens known as Vishrambhaka, Surasana, Nandana, Pushpa Bhadraka, and Chaitrarat, and by the Manas Sarovar lake. So here, all the places which were traveled by Kardama Muni and Devahūti are mentioned. These are part of higher lokas. These are part of material world, but they are all higher, where lokas, where material enjoyment is on much higher level. So in this way, Kardama Muni and Devahūti traveled to various planets, and they enjoyed their time during that period. So next is the conversation between Devahūti and Kardama Muni. That is going to be discussed in the next few shlokas. So we'll pause our study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam here. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhu.